Well, hello everyone. Welcome to today's class. I'm your instructor for today. My name is Edison. Hello, hello. Today I'm going to be telling you a little bit about ACI Report, Maps, and more. Okay? Now, ACI Report is our appraisal software. It's there in ACI Report. You can create your reports, your sketches, and like I said, today I'm going to be telling you about maps relating to location maps, flood maps. I'm going to show you how to set them up within your report, give you the street view and images as well, and a little bit more, hopefully. But you know what I need to do? I need to tell you how to set up your mapping software, which is ACI Sky, or better yet, Sky Maps. Okay, now Sky Maps is basically Google Maps under the hood. All right, so what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to show you how to set it up simply by going to the options right here in the upper left area. Left click on options. Then go down to where it says environment. We're going to start right here. Okay, then I'm going to go along this left side panel, scroll down a little bit. I'm going to click on the word mapping right here. All right, now I'm going to go to this grayed out area. See right here where it says location map provider? Well, create location map using, well, in this case, we're going to use Sky Maps. And like I said, Sky Maps is basically Google Maps under the hood. Now, right underneath it, we have right here, flood map provider. Well, create a flood map using, well, we're going to use Sky Flood. All right, so I just wanted to show you those options within options and environment. Now I'm going to close this out. And I'm going to go to the upper left portion of the screen right over here. See where it says e-services. Left click on e-services. And then from here, I'm going to go a little further down. Well, actually, I'm going to go all the way down to options right over here. Left click on options. And here we go. All right, I'm at the e-services options menu window. I'm going to go to the very bottom right here where it says mapping. Left click on mapping. And then I'm going to go right here to where it says Sky Maps. Left click on Sky Maps. It's here where I want to show you, where you can set up your default settings within Sky Maps. For example, you can include the distance on property location. You can actually adjust your map style from view, click right here, click on the drop down, to hybrid view, okay? Or when I scroll all the way down, you can change your property pointer font as well as your subject property colors as well as your comparables as well. I'm going to move a little further down because I want to bring this to your attention. See right here, display confirmation message. You always want to make sure you have a check mark right there within the e-services option, Sky Maps Services. Okay, so you want to make sure you have a check mark there. And if you want to be prompted as far as your aerial map, you want to put a check mark right there within that box as well. Now, once you have all your settings, all your options set up for Sky Maps, all you have to do is left click on OK, left click. And just like that, your settings are set within the default. Okay. All right, so now since I showed you how to set up your options within Sky Maps, I guess it only makes sense that I show you how to launch Sky Maps as well. All right, well, we have a little icon right here. It's an interstate sign. It also says location map underneath it. I'm going to simply left click on it, left click. It's grabbing that property data, my comparables 1, 2, and trace number 3, as well as that subject property. Is going to place that information within my Sky Map within ACI Report. Okay, you can see it's loading the map right now, and just like that, I am in Sky Maps. All right, now once you're in Sky Maps, you're going to notice a couple of things. For example, this portion of the screen is grayed out or shaded, as well as this portion. Why is that? Well, basically this portion right here in the middle that is not shaded, that's the portion that's going to basically be within your report. If I just left click on preview right here, once again, this is the portion of your map that is going to be on your location map page. So just wanted to show you that while I click on full view. Another thing you can do within Sky Map is you can reposition it simply by holding down my left click. I can drag it to the left, I can drag it to the right, I can go up, and I can go down. All right, a couple other things I want to show you. See, remember I mentioned the view when I was in my e-services options setting. I'm right now on my road view. I can go in the hybrid view if I wish to. Okay, and obviously if I want to go back to the road view, left click on it, click on road view. Does just what it's supposed to do. Now right here I have zoom in. You can click on that or zoom out, but what I want to give you most of my attention to is this one right here, which is called options. Left click on options. All right, because it's here where you can actually change the colorization within the property message flag. You see here for the subject color, I have my sales color, I have my listing, my rental, and my land. So let's say, for example, I want to change the color within my area. So all I have to do is just click on this yellow box right here, left click on my sales color. See, I have that rainbow, okay, I like to call it, and I have a marker right here, a colored marker. I'm going to put my cursor on that colored marker, hold down my left click, and do a little dragging. All right, and I'm going to make it right over here in this pink area. I'm going to release that left click, and that marker is going to stay right there. Move my cursor from that rainbow preview screen, and you'll see that my sales color is now in that hot pink. Okay, now take a look right here for my comparables 3, 2, and 1. Now, not only can I change the colorization within my property message flag or banners, but I can do a couple other things too. I can click right here where it says label options, left click on the label options, and I can change the units of measure. For example, I have kilometers here. I can click on my drop down. I can make it miles, which I'm going to make it right there. I can change my fonts. All right, click on the drop down. You can see the assortment of fonts that I have right here as well. And not only changing my fonts, but I can also change my font style. All right, I can also change the colorization within my fonts as well. Not only that, but right here at the very bottom, I have this slide rule. It's called the font size. All right, just put my cursor on that slide rule and just move it a little to the right. You see how large those fonts are getting? Well, they're a little too large, so I'm going to bring it right about right here and release my left click. The font size is going to stay right there. So that is a little bit about adjusting the fonts as well as the colorization within the options panel. Now, once my adjustments have been made, all I have to do is left click on close. And just like that, the colorization, which is that hot pink for my comparables, as well as the font size has been changed. Now, not only can you change the colorization as well as the fonts, but you can actually reposition the property message flags. For example, when I place my cursor on comparable sales number 1, watch what happens, okay? Well, a flyout tab appears. I'll tell you about that in a moment. But right now, I want to reposition my property message flag simply by holding down my left click and moving my property message flag anywhere I want on my map, okay? And if I wish to leave it right here, all I have to do is release my left click, release. Now, if I can move my property message flag, you know I can move my property pointer as well. Well, the property pointer is right here, that little white dot right there. I'm going to hold down my left click, and I'm just going to move that property pointer anywhere I want. And I'm going to release my left click, release. It's going to stay right there as well. Okay, I tell you what, let me take you back up to the upper portion of the screen right here where it says add address. I can simply add an address to my location map simply by entering in the title. Let's say, for example, in my case, maybe this would be my comparable sales number 4. I can enter in my street address, city, state, and zip, and then see right here for the property type. Well, all I have to do is click on the drop down and select my property type of choosing. Okay, so once I get that information entered into those fields, all I have to do is left click on add, and just like that, it will place the address within the proper location for that address. So I'm going to click on this X right here. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to place my cursor back onto one of my comparables. I'm going to put my cursor on that flyout tab, and let's see what happens now. Left click. Okay, well, this is what happens. I have a window for my comparable sale with some information entered into these fields. Now, it's at this stage I can change or edit the information within my, in my case, comparable number 3, simply by typing in a change of address and then clicking on save, and it'll do just that. It will save that information. But you know what? It doesn't stop there. All I have to do is click right here where it says Get Street View Image. Left click on it. Load that image, and just like that, I'll be able to apply my image to my comparable sale number 3. Okay, now not only can I change the address information, but I can also delete this address information if I wanted to, but I'm not going to do that. All right. Now, since I have my information, okay, I have my image and I have my address, okay, take a look right here. Add Street View Image to Report. Well, you always want to make sure you have this little check mark right here in order to add this image to your report as well. Now, once that check mark is placed within this box where it says Add Street Image to Report, well, I'm going to show you this in a PowerPoint image right here. just like that. Okay, it's here where you can basically add your image, okay, because each map label has the ability to add the street view image of the selected address. This will be placed on the photo slot of that comparable. On the import, you can uncheck the portion for the override existing street view image, and any image slots already filled will keep current images, which I'm relating to right here. Override existing street view images. Okay? All right, so that's how you can insert or import that image that was just created within my comparable sales number 3 into ACI report. Okay, since I showed you that, now what I'm going to do, I'm going to close out of this comparable sales number 3, all right? Because what I want to show you now is simply how to create neighborhood boundaries within Sky Map, okay? Now to do that, all you have to do is click on boundary right over here, left click on boundary. And right now I'm in my neighborhood boundary. It's here where you can add your neighborhood boundary as well as edit it. But in my case, I'm going to add my neighborhood boundary, and hopefully I could do it successfully. I'm going to type it in. All right, so I have my neighborhood boundary name, which is Cypress Point. Okay, moving a little further down, I can change the style right here. Right here, I have fill and outline. Click on my drop down. I have some more choices. I can fill only or outline only. All right, but I'm going to stay with fill and outline. All right, moving a little further down, I have my area. Now, it's here where I can make my area color basically anything I want, simply by clicking on this little blue box, in my case, left click on it. So I'm going to put my cursor right on that marker, hold down my left click, and I'm going to drag it anywhere I want on my rainbow. Let's say I want to bring it right here, release the left click, move my quadrant or my cursor, and there we go. Now my area is going to be in a yellowish color. But you know what? I could do some more editing. I could change the opacity simply by using the slide rule right here. Okay, I'm going to just bring it about maybe here in the middle. Okay, and then from here, I'm going to go a little further down to the outline. Okay, so I'm going to now change the colorization of my outline by putting my cursor on this little box right here. Left click on that colored box. It was once red, not anymore. It is now going to be blue. Left click, there it is. My outline is now going to be in blue. Okay, so from here, I could change the width, okay, of my outline if I wish to, as well as, you guessed it, the opacity. All right, let's change the colorization. All right, just to make it a little more transparent, if anything. Okay, so now that I have my area color, which is yellow, and my outline, which is blue, all I got to do is click on Save, okay? Well, now that I have my area, which is yellow, and my outline, which is blue, all I got to do is start creating my neighborhood boundary. Okay, I'm going to start here in the upper left portion, left click on it. See, I have my little quadrant or my pointer right there. Okay, I'm going to click right over here, created my neighborhood boundary line. Okay, so as I'm clicking away, I'm creating my neighborhood boundary. Just like that. Okay, so now that I have my neighborhood boundary, there's a couple of things you can do when you have your neighborhood boundary. I can readjust some of the quadrants or the pointers within my neighborhood boundary. For example, this one right here, the last one that I left off on, you're going to put my cursor on it, going to hold down my left click, and I can drag that quadrant or that pointer anywhere I wish to on my map. Okay, going to release my left click. It's going to stay right there. But let's say, for example, I want to delete that quadrant or that pointer. Can I do that as well? Absolutely. All I have to do is put my cursor on it, right click on it, select delete, left click on delete, and that quadrant or pointer is gone. Okay, so let's say, for example, I'm satisfied with my neighborhood boundary. Let's simply click on Save. Okay, now let's say, for example, I don't want that neighborhood boundary. I want to get rid of it. No problemo. All I have to do is left click on boundary. Okay, well, it was Cypress Point I was using, right? Okay, so there's my Cypress Point neighborhood boundary name. Simply left click on remove right here at the bottom left, and it's gone, just like that. Okay, now let's say, for example, you goofed, you gaffed, and you want to just restore that neighborhood boundary back onto your location map. You can do that as well. Let's go a little further up right here. Remember, the name, it was Cypress Point. It's right here. Left click on this little flyout tab. I use this one, Cypress Point. Left click on it, and there's my neighborhood boundary. Restored. All right, so now I'm going to save my neighborhood boundary. Left click on Save. And there it is. So far, so good. Okay, coming to the home stretch. So I want to accept my neighborhood boundary. I like it just the way it is. See where it says accept map? Left click on it. Going to save my map, but oops, what is this? Well, before I save my map, maybe I want an aerial map placed on in my report. I can do that as well. All right, so I'm going to add my aerial map, but if you choose not to have an aerial map, just click right here where it says not now. But I'm going to add my aerial map, left click on it, and just like that, I get a preview of my subject property in an aerial map view. Yeah, I want that aerial map, so I'm going to accept it. Saving my map. It's going to bring me back to my view right here. And now it's basically asking me, do you want to place it on the location map page for your location map, as well as your aerial map? Do you want to place that on the aerial map page as well? Well, absolutely. Left click on OK, left click. Processing my comparables. And in a few momentos, I should be able to, I got a message. Location map was imported successfully. Fantastic. Left click on OK. Let's take a look at it just to be sure. Let's go to the components list right over here. And there is my map. All right, let's take a look at my aerial map. Left click on my aerial map. And there is my aerial map as well. All right. So very simply, that is how you can create a location map as well as the aerial map applied within Sky Map. It's just that easy. Okay? All right. Now I'm going to show you something else that's just that easy, and that's creating a flood map. Okay, so to create a flood map, well, we have a little, I like to call it a teardrop. You can call it a water droplet, doesn't matter. Still going to say flood map underneath it right there. And I'm going to left click on that little teardrop. And it's going to process my subject property only. And just like that, I am in my flood map. And it says right here in the upper left corner, just to make sure, ACI Sky Flood Map. All right. Now, once you're in your flood map, you can easily reposition the property message flag by placing your cursor on it, left click. There we go. Once you see these little boxes on the corner, that tells you that you can reposition your property message flags, which I'm going to do right now, simply by holding down my left click and dragging it anywhere I want on my flood map. Release my left click, it's going to stay right there. Okay, now if I can do that with my property message flag, you know I can do that with my property pointer as well. Well, the property pointer is right here. It may be a little difficult to see, but it is a grayed out box right here. I'm going to put my cursor on that grayed out box right here, hold down my left click, and I'm just going to bring that property pointer anywhere I want on my flood map page. I'm going to leave it right here, release my left click, and watch what happens. Release. That's what happens. Okay, ACI Sky Flood is simply asking me, hey, Ed, do you want to leave that property pointer in its original location? Or, hey, Ed, do you want to move that property pointer to its new location? What is your decision? Well, I want to move it, so I'm going to left click right here and move. All right, and just like that, it's going to redetermine, okay, my flood map location. Once I do this, go over to the subject task right here and go right over here to where it says get flood determination. Okay, because I need to redetermine that location because it has been changed. Yes, it has. Left click on get flood determination. I'm going to start processing that subject, and just like that, my property within my flood map has been redetermined over here. Okay, so I have my redetermination, but let's take a look. Let me just scroll down a little bit. If I can get this down here. Here we go. All right, just want to show you the flood information that's right here, as well as the flood legend that is right here as well. Okay, so you know what? I'm satisfied with my flood map. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to accept it. That's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to go to the upper left portion of my flood map and left click on Accept Map, left click on it. And just like that, all right, ACI Sky Flood wants to know, hey, Ed, where do you want to place that flood map? Well, it only makes sense. Let's place it on the flood map page. Okay, let's not be ridiculous. Okay, let's left click on OK. And just like that, I have my flood map within ACI report. Let's take a look at it in the components list. Let's go over here to the left, right here, flood map, left click. Right here is my subject of my flood map. Okay, so it's just that easy in ACI Sky Flood or ACI Sky Maps in creating a location map as well as a flood map. Overall, that concludes our class addressing ACI report maps and more. Hope you're able to grasp that information. Overall, you folks have a great day as well as a great week. Take care. Bye-bye.